Hello guys, welcome back. I want to talk to you a little bit about, we talk a lot about VR because that's what I do a lot of. But I want to talk to you about, how VR changes your life. And maybe this doesn't happen to everybody. It took about a year for me. And just today, actually, there was something triggered. Maybe it was because I watched 2 videos of people trying VR for the first time, and you're so happy for them. You're like, yes, 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 go for it, go. I want to see this happen. And they were doing, cardboard VR. So they were doing the most bare bones basic you can get without having like a PlayStation or something. But they were like, and it was amazing. And they did this really sneaky thing where in the video they had this train come at them. Well, they were safe. It's VR. It was safe. It wasn't meant to scar them for life. And you heard all these ah sounds because, it's coming right at them. And if you've been in VR, you know exactly what that experience is like. It was just so emotionally moving. And then I watched, they're doing VR more in hospitals. It's one thing to read an article and think about abstractly, but it's another to be able to watch a video. And watch these people see VR for the first time. It's beautiful because they're looking around, their mouths open, and you remember the first time you saw VR and you were like, and for most people, most of us get that experience. There are a couple grumps out there that they don't care. Don't bother me with VR. They hate VR. They hate everything in life, including puppies and kittens, and I can't help those people. But it was so amazing. And then somehow it brought me full circle to, coming back to this world. And it makes you appreciate this world more because you can do everything in this world that you can't do in virtual reality. I can pick up one of my speakers. I can touch it. I can accidentally break it if I drop it. All the rules we learn through life. Keep your things nice. Especially as adults. Put them in place and never play with them. Never take them out. After a while, we don't have any childhood wonder because it's very much look but don't touch. Don't touch things. Don't pick things up and play with them. And VR encourages you to do the exact opposite. VR is like play with everything. Play with everything. Wanna feel cool? Play with everything. And it brings you back to this world, and I have been running through my house, picking up everything and playing with it. But at the same time, you get this new appreciation for life because you have bad stuff going on in your life. Everyone does. Even the person that seems like they have it all, the richest, happiest person they have stuff going on they're not telling you about. And, I had been on the phone today with my friend and we were talking because I got this paperwork to send in and fax machine's broken and I can mail it to her because I said I'm very concerned that, if I walk out, God's forbid, and get in an accident, because it's so darn cold. I said, this help isn't going to do me much good. So I said, well, I'll mail it to you, but we'll wait until Thanksgiving. And you'll know that if it's not fixed by then, just, mail me back the copy. And if it is fixed by then, her fax machine, then I'll have her fax. And I said, I'll eventually get up there and pay you. And she's like, I'm not worried about it. And like somehow stuff like that gets put into perspective because you've been into VR and you realize what a huge blessing it is. It's a really, really huge blessing for me. When you live on your own and you don't have the ability to get out as much as other people do, it's a huge blessing to be able to go in VR. And we went into the Grand Canyon and Hurries went with me. It's a huge blessing to have a home to go to where there's this peppy, upbeat beat music playing and everything's good and there are no bills and it's really good. It's really nice and it makes you appreciate life more. It really does. I'm not saying I don't have bad times. I had a really bad time last night, as a matter of fact. But VR helps you reset from that, where before VR, I would have been extremely depressed and I would have been either exercising myself to death to beat myself up or not eating or something else. And VR seems to be like the best therapy I've ever had. No, I did not say quit your therapist and go play VR. I did not say that. But and it's taken about a year. It's taken about a year. It seems to be really good therapy, but you have to accept it for what it is. You have to accept that every set of graphics is not going to be cutting edge. You have to accept that sometimes it's going to be buggy and glitchy, especially with Hermes. Mercury's going into retrograde for I think 2 weeks. Everything electronic is going to be going blah, 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 blah. So you have to accept, the limitations. If you have the opportunity to step up to the next higher level and you have less limitations, it's great. But if you can accept the limitations, if you can accept the graphics for what they are and know what you want them to be, and I think a lot of people can't make that final connect. They want VR to be what they want VR to be, but then you go, okay, what do you want VR to be? And they either can't articulate it or they say something like on a holodeck, and I'm like, honey, that's like 100 years in the future. It's never going to be that until they'll have to put us in chairs in a room and put a helmet on our head and somehow like put us into a sleep state so we can't move and hurt ourselves, and then you'll have that holodeck experience. But with the technology the way it is now, even with like the tactile suits, you can get like hands and arms and like your whole body, you can get a tactile suit on. Even that's limited because just the computers we have today and the software and everything we have today, it just can't handle that. You're asking for real world experience on a computer. You're asking a lot out of a computer. So it's still a blessing. I'm still like profoundly grateful for it. It just made me happy to come back into this world where you can pick things up and feel them and feel the texture, and I'm like, this is really cool. And gravity works in this world, physics work in this world. This is cool. I really appreciate the graphics in this world. Somebody went to a lot of trouble. I heard Loki Becker, we did our best, huh? So yeah, just it took about a year, but that was a pretty good breakthrough for me because usually you guys know if you've been with me for a while, November, December are the times I start my downward trek to, depression land, and it was really good to get that boost, to have that connection. I still have all my problems I had before, but they're not so bad. They're manageable. If we get certain things, we get them. If we don't, we'll manage. Somehow we're managed. Because I was talking to Hermes as we're in there and we're going through the Grand Canyon. And I said, I really believe the universe, or God, or whomever you want to say, has a plan for us. And they are never going to show us the playbook. They're never going to say, oh, I have this plan for you. We have free will. We have free will. But they have all these great things planned for us. It's just a matter of us having the patience to get there. Sometimes we have to go through some really rough plays before we can get there. I'm starting to sound like Vince Lombardi. And it's just, it's good to be able to do this because you realize how blessed you are. I said, as my brain made the connection while we're there watching these people experience VR, and then when we were in VR, I said, you realize how much of gods have blessed us. I said, VR somehow kind of completes that experience for me. It shows you how very much gods have blessed us with, I mean, every single thing around us, our homes, our walls, every little tiny object in our homes. I'm finally grateful for them. I tried for decades, guys, to practice attitude of gratitude and count your blessings. I was always kind of grateful. But this is more like wonder. You look around and you're like, wow. this is reality. Reality is cool. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of that reset. I don't know. The early days they thought like maybe VR rewires your brain. So maybe between getting off the Xfixer a couple years ago, here, I don't know. Um, and just having a light box strapped to my head for a set amount of time and the exercise and everything else you get into it, maybe it's, a really good therapy program for me. I have no idea, but it's working. So I just figured I'd share that with you. I was talking to Hermes too, and I said, should I keep bringing people VR? And he said, well, let's play it by ear. And I said, a lot of you do appreciate it, and I'm thankful you like it when I bring you VR games. It's not that it's too much trouble to record, but it's that I realize there's this huge difference between being in VR and seeing it on a 2D screen. I wish we had the technology to bring you, pull you into the experience, but we don't have that yet. So, let me know what your thoughts are, because one of the most moving things we could do is go to the White House, and if you make a bad comment, you will be off this channel forever, and visit with President Obama. And I believe the First Lady's in that too. And it's just incredibly moving because it's the first, last, and only movie experience I've seen where everything's crystal clear. All the humans are human-sized. And you're sitting directly across from the President of the United States. And I'm bawling like a baby through the whole thing. I'm like, I miss you so much. Come back. You were such a good president in retrospect. So yeah, it was profoundly moving because, you're here with this president who's treating you with respect and dignity and is inspirational, and I just had a good cry. That's what I did. So it was really touching. And there's another thing that President Obama does, with the national parks, that was really moving too, about how important it is to preserve things. So yeah, and that's the potential of VR. You get to spend time with people you would otherwise never meet. Now it's not the same thing as meeting them and asking, talking back and forth, but still profoundly powerful. And you don't understand it until somebody slaps a VR set on your head, and then you understand it. And then you understand why these patients are getting better, because the thing on the patients with VR wasn't just, oh, let's spoil our patients. It was pain management without opioids. They found out that the VR wasn't going to ever entirely replace opioids, but made a huge, huge difference for the patients. And they were happy, and while they were in VR, they didn't feel the pain. And it was wonderful because it distracts you. I've noticed with myself, with my arthritis, if my arthritis is getting really, really bad and really, really painful, and I'm like, I can take something over the counter, or, sometimes I jump into VR for a while, and it helps you manage a pain on a better level. I'm not, going to the doctor and crying, say, please give me steroids. It does seem to help you with pain management. I thought all this was like goofy wah-wah in my head, but these are actual medical doctors saying, yeah, it helps with pain management. They're using it for depression. They're using it for PTSD. They're using it for all this different stuff. And it's just amazing. And to me, it's amazing because I don't have a therapist here. I don't have a doctor here. I have the gods here, of course, but I don't have any human interaction on my end to say, okay, now I want you to go into this and tell me how you feel, and is this helping you? Usually it's the gods doing that. They're like, okay, we're going to go play in the field with the butterflies, and you're going to talk to me about what's bothering you, and that's just as good as therapy. It really is. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope it made an ounce of sense. And Loki, I think, is standing back a little to give me time to play with Hermes, because he knows Hermes is my little buddy and playmate, and we run around VR going, wee! And Hermes just exults in it. He loves it. It's really his home. He loves being in VR, where the other gods, they like it, and they'll look around, they're interested, but Hermes gets it. That's the only thing I can say. He really gets it on the level that I'm feeling it on. So, If you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.